Francis Ngannou is probably not resigning, apparently.
Oh, really? I saw some things
That's the
about
rumor.
Dana White, like, saying some shit about it, like, saying, like, be careful who you have represent you, stuff like that, and some weird, ominous, like, Fisk type shit.
Yeah, it's, you
Like-
know, when a fighter's like, I would like to be paid more since I am a draw, and you're like, no.
And you're like, what did you say?
you give a man only a few options.
I mean, like, you know, I would want to get paid a lot of money to fight Cyril Gane as well, because that guy's not fun to fight. Like, he's either going to outpoint strike you, and that's not fun to go through. Even if, like, let's, like, you ever spar with someone who's just, like, so high level that, like, it's just not, they're not clapping your brain out of your skull, but they're just meaning.
But you're not, they're beating you on everything, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And you're just stuck in there for 4 minutes while they're just, like chopping you and jabbing you in the nose, and, you know, that's not fun to deal with.
No, that's not a great life.
Yeah.
Turns out.
It's that, or he does have the power to, like, put anyone away. I really think Cyril Gane might win.
I think it's not impossible. I think there have been, like, plenty of matchups for Francis Ngannou that seems pretty easily a Ngannou fight. I don't think this is the one. And I think it'd be super unfair for anyone to say it.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, as long as Francis Ngannou is Francis Ngannouing, like, he never got home way out. But I'm fairly positive Cyril Gane's gonna win. Based off,
I don't think I'm positive, but I definitely think it's worth watching because I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, like, fairly positive is a little bit of an overstatement, I guess. Because, like, I see it as 55-45. I really do think that Cyril Gane is going to beat him, just based on his size and skill set alone. I don't think that Ngannou is, I mean, maybe he leans on his wrestling a little bit, but I don't see him trying to go out there and try to wrestle Cyril Gane. You know what I mean? And I just think Cyril is so much faster than he is. And I think that's, like, a first for Francis Ngannou at that weight class. There's a lot of firsts for Cyril, for Francis here. This is his first opponent that's probably going to be bigger than him in terms of height. I think he's got 2 or 3 inches on Francis, or maybe 8 inch. Someone who is a Greek god, might arguably have more muscle mass than Francis. Is faster than Francis and knows more about striking than Francis. Now, we've already seen people fight him that have more kickboxing experience. They were small, like Rosenstruck. Like, him dying, like, if you go back and watch that in slow motion, he did everything right to a kickboxing standpoint. Just didn't make it because he's 5'9". You know what I mean?
It turns out a bigger dude who's just as good at you with everything will get your ass beat by it. Especially, he's not just bigger, like, way bigger.
Like, infinitely bigger and heavier than you are by almost 20 to 30 pounds. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is the first time where he might not have the weight advantage over Francis. I think Francis is like 265 and Cyril's like 247. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference because they're both over, like, the 230 pound mark. You know, 240 pound mark. You would think that, but people like Jake Paul have been very successful after the rap career.
The thing is,
and Tyron Woodley. Well,
I wouldn't say Jake Paul's rap career was a career. It was more like part of the YouTube career.
Yeah.
Where he had, like, 2 diss tracks that he could self-publish and self-produce because he has god dizzy money.
Right.
Put them on YouTube.
Right.
A bunch of the people who like Jake Paul, which is just white kids who want to be Jake Paul, all ate it up because they don't care at all about it rap or not.
They just want to watch the world burn.
Right. A bunch of jokers just, like, click like on the YouTubes.
Right.
And that's how Jake Paul ends up killing Tyron Woodley again. Tyron Woodley made like $3 million though, so
good for him, I guess. But they just tarnished his whole career for a check.
Does it? Because I feel like the end of his MMA career tarnished his whole career.
I mean, we're fans, so I know that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But everyone that, like, doesn't know the glory of Tyron Woodley, like, now knows him as the guy that got beat up by the YouTuber.
Yes. Which I think is, like, the risk, I guess, of being one of these fighters who does that. I don't know if Ben Askren feels the same.
Ben Askren went in there knowing that he had no hands. So I think he knew completely that was possible, and that him standing in front of a 200-pound gorilla that's possibly on steroids is a very real possibility. Because he would have to be silly to not think, like, we were all silly into thinking that, like, he could, like, soldier that storm and not use any head movement or boxing ability.
Right. And he'll just like weather him because he's
Yeah.
been a fighter before.
Yeah. We were wrong, you know?
Yes.
But he was especially wrong for not preparing at all for for a boxing match.
Yeah, he took it on like a week's notice, and you can almost tell he took it for the check because it didn't look like he was ready to box at all, besides being able to make weight.
Yeah. I mean, if Jake's found the whatchamacallit, the formula, like, just find people who are at the end of their careers, who have lost their will to live, to fight, and
really just want the paycheck.
Yeah, and then
you'll be able to fund it.
Yeah, it was sad to watch. Even the moments leading up to him getting knocked out, he just literally was not moving at all. Like, just,
and I think it's like he was unequivocally outboxed this fight. Like, almost from the beginning. Like,
yeah, he really got stomped upon.
Jake Paul really fucking bamboozled him out there, which is sad to see. You hate to
that
see.
Was very sad to see. That was very sad to see. It's sad to see their white faces like triumph over. This has been a rough year for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, we had a strong 2020, and it's just been downhill from there.
Yeah.
I
can't wait till Chill has the best podcast of his life when he comes back and is able to talk.
Yeah, he's gonna hit the CM Punk pipe bomb on the fucking.
He might even make a movie like 8 Mile style. Like, that's my favorite thing about 8 Mile is that Eminem wrote the whole movie and starred in it, and everyone's just like, yeah, that probably happened exactly how he wrote it.
Yeah, I see no issues with this.
They didn't show him using the N-word a bunch of times and realizing that he couldn't do that. Oh, shit, right. I can't. I thought it was cool with my black friends, but apparently not on stage in Detroit.
Oops. And it has an all-time terrible performance by Anthony Mackie.
Yes. That movie was fucking terrible.
It is, yeah. It's kind of like that's a movie you can definitely only make if you're the hottest act on planet Earth and then also white in 2002.
Bro,
it's like basically all you.
If you tell white people the truth about that movie, they treat it like you said, like Goodfellas was bad or something. You know what I mean? You ever like say like I didn't like The Godfather, it was kind of boring. Like, if you say that, white people go like they clutch their pearls. Like, how could you? 8 Mile is fucking bad. I will die on that hill. The Matrix is better than fucking 8 Mile, and I'm talking about all of them. Okay, I'm talking about every Matrix.
To be the Matrix 2 and 3 came out like the year after 8 Mile, so they had a lot to learn. They took notes and was like, we're not going to do that.
All right, we can be corny, but we'll have robots and shit in it, so it'll be chill.
And we're not gonna have Lose Yourself in it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that fucking song. When I was like 8 years old or 9 years old when that shit came out, I was like, yes, knees weak, arms are heavy. Yes, descriptive words. Yes.
Every once in a while, that comes on in like a bar or like I think I heard it at a wedding reception once, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah. The idea that, that like Eminem will never, well, for my own racial bias reasons, he's white, so he'll never be in my top 10 or top 15 rappers ever. But like everything he's done that they give him credit for, like, oh, he was like so fringe and he was so underground. I'm like, all right, but there's like 60 other rappers that did the same shit and then like got actual legal recourse put against them because they were black. So
and then the cops were like, oh, you're selling drugs.
Yeah, oh, you're selling drugs to make your life infinitely harder. Like, they were like encouraging Eminem to like corrupt their children. The same shit that they were giving shit like black people for, like, look at all the crime that you guys are creating. Eminem was like telling your kids to like crush up pills and snort them and not go to school. And now look at us. Now look at the country. It's in shambles. All of them had kids out of wedlock.
They did. They all went to the army, got their bonuses, spent it on Chargers, and had a bunch of kids out of wedlock. Hate to see it.
With women that actively cheat on them. With black guys.
That's what 8 Mile does to you.
That's what 8 Mile does.
8 Mile.
That's
the, 8 Mile has your wife cheating on you with a black dude when you deploy.
Forget about the Patriot Act, okay? Forget about all of the things that, like the recession and the housing market collapsing, Forget about all those things that have destroyed the country, okay? 8 Mile destroyed the country. 8 Mile has ruined the hearts and minds of a generation of people thinking that that is a classic work of art, A. And B, that Eminem is a good actor and that he can actually rap, okay? He's fooled the nation. He's fooled the white nation.
I don't think he fooled the white
Nation of
nation. I think he's just kind of became like an avatar of the white nation. Like everyone just kind of went to sleep and dreamed real hard, and then Eminem showed up. Like this is what they wanted, really.
This is the response they wanted. Well, here's the thing, though.
They willed it.
When he started, they didn't really want that. That was like more of like the teenage kids and like I guess 20-year-olds that liked him, because they were bitching a little bit about him on like MTV or whatever. But then he became like the, and I'll use this because it's a perfect analogy. Like he created his own like Rocky scenario. Like no one was rooting for him, and he didn't win any championship. And arguably, he might be a figment of our imagination. But at the end of the day, like he made this story where he's like the underground hero. It's like, all right, but you like had this enormous team behind you that like made you famous.
Yeah, the very important part missing out of 8 Mile was when Dr. Dre found him and took him under his wing.
Yeah,
and that's when anything that he did mattered after that.
Right, and then shielded him from the harshness of like the real rap world, which is like you get murdered, or they can make you look very goofy in front of your fan base. They can physically, like the Insane Clown Posse is not a real credible threat to Eminem. He'll threaten the Insane Clown Posse, but when the game split up from the group, he's like, guys, he's trying to be mediator. Let's calm down a little bit. We're a little bit, more offended.
To be fair, he also had like a friendship with them because his relationship.
Yeah,
with 50 Cent.
but he aligned with 50 Cent and those people still.
That's because
musically.
50 had the vitamin water money, and he was never going back to LA, so it was fine. He didn't have to go meet the game.
He was worried about the bag. That's why he was like, the game might end my bag getting career by having me shot to death. So maybe I should Maybe I should just play ball with both of them. Like he's a little snake.
I would wonder. I would argue Eminem never wanted to be like gang guy, beef guy. I think it was like
he did. He dressed and act. He was.
I think that was the homies dressing him up like a fucking doll.
He was
putting like do-rags on him and shit.
Eminem, you don't have any waves. Whatever.
So you've been wearing this do-rag for 3 years and have no waves. I don't get it.
They had him dressed like a New Yorker, and he was very, very clearly from a trailer park in Detroit.
Wearing like powder blue velour jumpsuits and shit.
Oh my god, hilarious.
Like, well, hasn't Cameron just skinned you yet? What's going on?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they shielded him. Like, no one was trying to get into a rap beef with 50 Cent, like, and Dr. Dre on either coast at the height of his hip hop career when he really solidified his standing in this country. You know what I mean? Like, he had no real adversity. Like, Big L had very real adversity. You don't want to know why? Because he was shot to death in the street. That was
I would call that adversity.
That is a hard mountain to overcome, getting shot a bunch of times in the street that you're from. You know what I mean? While he was in the midst of him trying to do like a character change. He's like, you know what, maybe the street life isn't for me. Bop, 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 bop. Doesn't matter. He's dead now. Eminem never had to worry about anything remotely close to that in the entirety that he's been alive.
Which is funny because he kind of rode the Trojan horse of like the NWA splitting up. And like, although the drama that kind of befell each and every one of those members afterwards. Yeah. And then like Ice Cube going off and kind of proving that maybe he was the best rapper out of all of them accidentally.
Big
and Dr. Dre being like, what if I just produce for the rest of my life? And that's where I'll make my hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
And then Eazy-E fucking dying. Like, that was like the gateway drug for white people to gangster rap, and then they found this dude who was like gangster rap with none of the consequences.
Right.
And none of the gangster really either. He was just kind of like an upset fucking white dude from an actual hood for the white kids that weren't from the hood but were still upset.
Yeah. And he was able to get the black vote because he was like talking poorly of white people. You know what I mean?
Right. He was getting co-signed by particular black people, but also was maybe a very loud white voice saying maybe it is the white people. Maybe it is their problem.
Yeah. Maybe we are insane. You know what I mean?
And not really saying it as like we should do something about it, more like saying it as like I am also that. Allow me to write for
yes,
Alan.
yes. And then I'm gonna get sober and have a bunch of kids and not do any of that anymore, but still rap, but be very sober and dad-like instead.
And change nothing about myself.
Right.
Except now I grow a beard.
Now I grow a beard and I wear
because I'm 45 or whatever.
A weird black fedora that you would only almost unanimously find at a Comic-Con like event on neckbeards.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got very neckbeard fashion now.
Yes.
Other things that bother me about Eminem is the way he dresses.
I think Eminem sort of is lucky in that he's like one of the only white rappers that didn't have to transition out of rap because the industry bullied him out of it. Yeah. He was like the first one and the only one that didn't. Like everybody else did country after this. Like Everlast is like a country star now, I guess.
Right. MGK
and that's just been the trajectory since.
Right. Yeah. The age of the white rapper is gone, which I am thoroughly pleased about. They had their opportunity and they got Eminem. You had
your time. Well, I don't think it's done yet. I feel like.
You think there's another Eminem like around the corner?
I don't know. There's another. I don't think there can be. But I think there can be plenty of white rappers who live in whatever the current sort of rap zeitgeist is, because it's not, I wouldn't say easier, but it's a way different path to that. You can just be hot on TikTok and make it happen.
Yeah, the Island Boys.
Yeah, I would say that they are the opposite of that.
No,
like the Island Boys are more like
they're exactly the same. Them and Eminem exactly the same.
I think they might actually be exactly the same, but I think the difference is the Island Boys are not going to be able to sort of Trojan horse their way into a career. I think they are just dudes on the internet, and that's kind of what it is. But nothing about John Jones tells me he would want a legitimate source of anything.
Yeah, I believe him.
He would definitely be drunk, go like in fucking Albuquerque or wherever the fuck he was, pull up to the gas station and just buy dick pills off the counter. Like that
doesn't sound
that's the kind of die I think exists there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just made an honest, sober mistake at a gas station, like we all do.
Like anyone. You walk into a bodega, you see the two stick figures fucking with like fire around them or something, and you're like, yeah, that could be me.
Super rage cock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean that could be any one of us. That could. I see myself in John Jones.
Who's among us has it?
And how dare you cast the first stone as if you wouldn't have been caught in the same predicament that John Jones. What's some John Jones news, actually? I know he switched camps to a Jackson Wink affiliate.
He's been bucking shots, too. He's been very, very not excited about how Jackson Wink has just kind of stopped talking about him.
Yeah.
Which, sure, I guess.
I don't know how you could be mad about that given your own behavior. But he's also
maybe you're the problem, but
right.
And I think him and Dan Hooker have been like beefing.
Why? Dan Hooker be beefing with just random ass people like John Jones, Wale, two identically same people.
I think it was I think it's because of the Chael shit.
The Chael shit.
Because Chael got arrested, and then
John
Jones is like, look at this man who had some bullshit to say about me getting arrested.
Yeah, I might have beaten my wife and other women, but
and these are equivalent actions. These are equivalent activities.
Yeah,
Chael's son, who maybe went to stop a woman from getting beaten.
Yeah. It's like literally the Joker coming forward and be like, see, Batman's exactly the same as I am for breaking all these guys back.
You're the same, you and I.
Yeah, we're not that much different, you and I.
We both get arrested for battery.
Well, John, context is important.
Yes, we both got arrested for battery. That is we both were in a cop car.
Story. Oh, how the turntables have turned.
Didn't Mike Tyson just like say on like a podcast that
sounds about right?
Ex-girlfriends like ate one of his pigeons once or something like that?
Oh my God. Just when you think Mike Tyson can't say anything that'll startle or surprise you, he says some shit like, "And my ex ate my pigeon."
Squab used to be a thing. People used to eat pigeons before they became before industrialization made them fucking dirty ass birds.
Yeah, they're disgusting as flying rats now, and I want them to die as a result.
I'm bringing it back. We're bringing back eating pigeons.
We're bringing it back, pigeons.
That's the last thing I had to say today. I'm bringing back eating pigeons. You start a YouTube channel.
You just chowing down on fried pigeon legs or wings. Do they have legs?
Just outside. They have legs.
Oh, just raw ones?
I mean, I'm gonna catch it and then like pluck on the channel and then cooking.
All high res. All high res.
Super 4K fucking pigeon cooking recipes.
You'll be the first.
Listen, everybody needs a lane.
Is PETA gonna bother you?
I mean, probably.
Is it illegal to eat pigeons?
What's PETA gonna do? Fight me? You probably do need like a license. You might need a license to like hunt them. I wonder. Good question.
Them out of the sky with like a buckshot or a bird shot.
I bought an AR-15 to hunt pigeons.
There'd be no pigeon left. It'd just be exploded massive bones and guts on the floor.
It did its job.
Yeah. All right. Well, Oh, Jared has got a few projects. Like we even heard his sexy voice on the YouTubes recently on his review of his what game was that? Was it the military game?
Yeah, it was a preview of a game called World War III that you should definitely not play yet. Oh it is in beta, probably now, open beta now, and it needs some work. I spent most of that game waiting to connect to a game.
My favorite.
I played about 40 hours of it. About 5 of it was playing the game.
Oh my God.
So maybe skip it for now.
But it does look like it could work up to be like one of a serviceable shooting game.
It could if you run it like super mill shooter, but also more simmy than like Call of Duty, like more like an armor situation. Without like the limb damage and all that kind of shit that armor has. I would say it's like Battlefield with a little bit more, with like a shit ton more customization options. But without any of the destruction. So if you like making your guns look cool but don't like blowing holes in buildings, then this could be for you.
I remember that you were like, because I was looking at you play the game, and like you have to dedicate your build to one set of rifles because it takes so long to unlock all the shit on the rifle.
All of the weapons have its own like experience bar, and you have to like use them in order to unlock more customization options. But these options are all specific to each weapon, so you can't just unlock a grip and put it on every weapon that the grip is compatible with. That grip might be on several different weapons, but you have to have unlocked it on all the weapons individually, and that's the way
I feel like they can fix that is if they took a page out of the Tarkov book where it was like, okay, yeah, you have to spend a lot of time customizing your weapons with experience points and in-game currency, but you can pick up other people's equipment on the field. You know what I mean?
So you can do that.
Kill somebody. Oh, okay.
But you can't keep it.
Well, that's
you silly. Can use it in a round.
Yeah,
and that's fine for the round, but you go back to the lobby and it's your weapons again. So, and the problem is if you pick up somebody else's weapon and start using that, you're putting experience points in that weapon, not yours.
Right.
So
that's why the Tarkov workaround is so much better because you can, it effectively treats it like a loot type thing. Like
Tarkov did the like the Arma, not Arma, the like the DayZ thing where like whatever you get in the server is yours if you get out of the server with it. Like you just keep it.
Right. Which I think is cool.
Yeah, I think Tarkov is more of a survival game though. Like this is kind of just like a military shooter. Yeah, this is meant for you to jump in, play the game in this round in a contained space for a half hour and then leave, and then without any of the baggage that just happened. Where Tarkov is like everything you do, you take with you.
Or maybe a workaround like this, right? In a Warzone, right? Like every season, you can do a bunch of challenges in game, and when you finish that challenge in game or finish like whatever the thing is in game, you get rewarded X amount of parts or whatever.
I think they're definitely doing like season pass challenge stuff.
Yeah,
I
they
and I
should
know
because
a lot of the experience stuff is kind of challenge based, but even then it's still just experience for particular weapons. Like if it was just for the item and then you can use this item on every weapon that is compatible with, I feel like that is a more fair process than knowing that I have to use this scar and then anything I unlock on the scar, even if I can then unlock that on the M4,
Mhm.
I can't just take this fucking scope I unlocked on the scar and move it to the M4, even though I know they're compatible. Like
Right.
if you can just unlock the scope and put it on any gun that's compatible, I feel like that feels a bit better.
I
Even
agree.
if it was all linear too. So like even if I had to unlock all these things one at a time and I couldn't skip to unlock the new scope, I had to unlock the scope first. At least that scope then works on all these different things. It's not like
Right.
I have to use the one gun and use its one scope once. Like
Right.
it's such an old school kind of process that it seems like that's one of those old school things that needs to stay old school
Yeah.
and
Leave it
hopefully
out.
they get over it.
They have another game that I just saw that reminded me of too as well. It's called Ready or Not. Have you seen anything for that yet?
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of cool. It looks like old school Rainbow Six.
Yes, I think that's the idea. I think it's
Yeah.
trying to be Rainbow Six for the people who don't want Siege.
Yeah. Siege is a little bit more fast paced, cartoony. This is like more of a callback to like literally like Rainbow Six.
And
Like
Siege is like is trying to be like a competitive sort of asymmetrical like hero shooter thing where this is
almost
kind of
like a
like
yeah, like a MOBA.
remember old Rainbow Six. Like this is what
Right.
they're trying to do.
Right. Makes sense. Do you have any other projects coming up, bud?
Some, but I really don't know when they're gonna happen. So
Fair.
I don't really know when to tell you to go look for things.
Well, when he decides to tell you, you can go to his social media platforms, and one of them is at Jarrett John, JarretTJawn. That's on. Is that on the Twitters, or is that something different on the Twitters?
That is everything.
That's on everything. And he will give you the reviews that you need. He will give you the sweet sex
On Twitter. Wow.
on Twitter. Twitter allows the sweet sex on it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
They allow the sweet sex on it. On Instagram, what is it? At Jarrett Drinks Things, or is it still Jarrett John?
Sure, John. Same thing.
Jarrett John, same thing. Okay. And then you can follow me at Peach Daddy, PeachDaddie. That's basically what I spend most of my time on now. And follow the at Catchweight update. You know how to spell cash, you know how to spell weight, you know how to spell update. If you don't, Google it. It's all one word, not spelling it all out.
Yeah, idiot.
Dummy. But that's it. Peace, love, and gap, y'all. We finished up today.